Shalom and welcome. Well, Rosh Hashanah is past, Yom Kippur is upon us. Here's a story that's more modern, perhaps, about what can happen on a Yom Kippur. Back in the 1980s, a strange thing happened, a wonderful thing happened in the old Soviet Union called perestroika. And what it meant was that the Jews who were living there were able to finally come out and live freely as Jews. And there were a lot of things that were done to try and help them. 1987, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Menachem Mendel Schneerson, sent a young Chabad rabbi to Kiev. And in Kiev, they were going to hold Yom Kippur services, starting with Kol Nidre. So they posted all kinds of notices that in the main synagogue in Kiev, these services were going to take place. And come Erev Yom Kippur, Kol Nidre, many people did in fact show up. There were older people that remembered their Jewish heritage. There were young couples that came in curious about what their heritage was. There were teenagers who didn't know anything. The services started with the cantor singing the Kol Nidre prayer and continued on. And as the services continued, the young rabbi sensed that there was some disappointment. Like these people had the feeling, was this what we were longing to have? Even though they tried to make all of the proper things, there was certainly enthusiasm. They had Russian, Hebrew prayer books. They had explained everything in Russian. But there was still this reticence, this sense of law, of something that was missing. After the Amidah, the silent prayer, this was even more profound. As the prayer concluded, the young rabbi got up and he said to the congregation, "I understand what's happening here." And then he started to tell this story of the Baal Shem Tov. Many years ago, the Baal Shem Tov was praying the Kol Nidre service in a small village with some of his students. Now, through his spiritual vision, the Baal Shem Tov had found out that there had been a decree against the Jewish people that the following year was going to be a very bad year. And he and his students were trying to pray very hard so that this decree could be averted. Everyone around them caught the feeling of what was going on. And as the service continued, this grew more and more intense. The Baal Shem Tov was really praying his heart out. There was a young shepherd boy who knew no Hebrew, but wanted still to be a part of what he felt was going on around him. But knowing no Hebrew, he couldn't follow in the prayer book. He didn't even know enough to join along with the Chazan as he was chanting some of the prayers, or join in with the people as they were saying the prayers out loud. So suddenly he turned to the first page of the prayer book and he started to recite the alphabet. Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Dalet, and he went through the entire alphabet. When he got to the end, he looked up and he said, God, I've done as much as I can. I've recited the alphabet. You know the way the prayers are supposed to be and the words. So you arrange the letters the way they're supposed to be. When the Baal Shem Tov had finished his prayers, he realized that this kind of simple, heartfelt prayer was so powerful that in heaven they recognized this prayer from this simple shepherd boy, and the decree had been averted. Well, when the young rabbi finished the story, he stopped for a moment to let the meaning of the story sink into the people who were there. So during this moment of silence, suddenly, out of this huge crowd, someone shouted, Aleph! And the crowd responded, Aleph! And then, Beis! And the crowd responded, Beis! And so on through the entire alphabet. When the alphabet had been finished, the people got up and started to file out of the synagogue. They had finished their prayers. God does not demand that we say our prayers in Hebrew or in English or in Russian or in some other language. What God cares about is what is inside, what is here. God will put the letters in the right order as long as we have the intention. This Yom Kippur, may we all have the proper intention for our prayers, no matter what language we may have to say them in. Shalom and an easy fast.